Hello, hello, Raven friends, Raven Spirit here. This is going to be an extended collective reading, just going into whatever Spirit wants to mention or digest or talk about, encourage within you. Go ahead, take a second. This is a moment for you to call in your guides. And if I have your permission, if you have space for it, allow me to connect to them. Okay. I just want to go into what is the overall energy of this person watching. And I want to know why we are there. Why are we there? Okay. Excuse me, I'm recovering from a cold. Okay. This is the Territorial deck by Raven and Rogue. Okay. What advice do you have? Okay, perfect. Okay. And I'm just going to pull more. How is this maybe affecting us? How is this affecting us? Let's see. And how can we break this cycle? And I'm not doing any particular spread. Just intuitively asking these questions. This one landed in reverse. I will accept it. And I'm not going to speed up this process so you know what I do when I'm shuffling the cards. Now there are no cups here. Oh, there's one, but I can see that it is about this Five of Pentacles. I'll still go ahead and pull a card that deals with romance, but I'm gonna pull, let's see. I'm going to pull one of these. Cool. Just to get an idea. And then some spiritual guidance here. Any guides that may want to step forward. I have a feeling that that one was one. It'll come back out if it was meant to be. There it is. Once again. Oh. There's a plane overhead, so just ignore that. Okay. I'll try to put the times of when I'm shuffling in the comments. And I will show you the cards, no worries. Okay. Just getting my bearings here. Okay, let's talk about where we are. Why we're there, how it's affecting us. Where we are, and we got the Knight of Swords here. If you can see, there's no real images here, but. And I'll go ahead and read their interpretations. Action, impulse, defense of beliefs, ambitious. The Knight of Swords depicts an armor-dressed knight charging ahead with great passion on a white horse. His sword, their sword, is held high, and in the background, storm clouds are forming. She says, You're on a mission and there's no stopping you. The only problem is that you may be too quick to take action and you're not planning. Keep that energy flowing, but be calculated. Don't trip over anyone on your way either. You may be careless of the feelings of others on your mission and inadvertently, so try to remain empathetic. So the Knight of Swords. It's generally a card that comes up when we're feeling quite defensive of ourselves and our story, right? And I think sometimes when we rush so far ahead, we see the goal in our sight, we have to ask ourselves, why am I triggered so much? Or what is really lighting me up so much that I have to do this? And there's a lot of swords here. So I'm gathering that some of the reason why we're charging ahead is not from the most loving space. Some of the reason why 555 just popped up. Some of the reason why we are charging ahead here, because there's so much air energy. And this doesn't have to be just your sign. This could be overall what's going on. Maybe you're thinking so much, you're overthinking yourself. And it might make you believe that there's a huge storm taking place, or you've recently escaped from some heavy chapter of your life that really broke down the way you process things or the way you view life overall. It's could have been a battle of sorts. This could have dealt with society. Maybe it's an overload on technology. Maybe it's seeing those around you succeed and you feel left behind. Maybe there's something that's threatening your story. Sometimes the Knight of Swords is like about telling your story and really wanting to defend that story. So some of you may be stepping up in this time to write, to speak, public speaking, to start posting content about your life, to start writing poetry again. For some reason, the sword just kind of reminds me of a pen. Not to mention because it's the intellect and it's the mind. I'd also argue that there's some communication needing to take place here. Sometimes those thoughts get trapped in there. You have the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Swords as to why we are in this space, the Knight of Swords, okay? And the reason why for here it says breakthroughs, Ace of Swords is new ideas, success, sharp mind, clarity. So there's some kind of epiphany. Something needs to change, or I need something new. And perhaps you're being encouraged to jump freely into this new chapter. Excuse me. You have the Eight of Swords as well. So not only can you see this clarity of thought or this fresh energy that you want to have, and maybe that's what you're rushing towards is, I need a new start. I need a new beginning. I need clarity. I need sharp mind. I need all of that. I need a new reality. The Eight of Swords, however, is kind of not that at all. The Eight of Swords is feeling very stuck. So I'm going to actually read the depiction of the traditional card here, which is the Eight of Swords depicts a blindfolded and bound figure among the Eight of Swords that are staked in the ground. The surrounding area is barren and damp. So this person is trapped, and at the same time, there's swords all around them that could kind of get them free as well. But they're not using or relying too much on what they see, more so how they feel. And part of this is like negative self-thought, feeling like a victim, feeling trapped. And this says your old thought patterns may no longer be used to you. Open yourself to a shift in thought, because a change in perspective may be exactly what you need right now. You may be labeling yourself a victim. You may be feeling sorry for yourself. But in this time, it's important to take your power back and evaluate the choices that you have. So it's about trusting your intuition. That's why you have the blindfold there. This Eight of Swords is a really interesting one because you do have water on the ground, which means that you could probably feel your way out of this, but you're so stuck in your head that maybe intuition feels lost. So I think with all of these swords here is you have to have a way to be able to work through in a healthy way all of these overthinking negative thought patterns that are preventing you from being able to see the life that you want to see, or being able to find the ease that you need, really. There's a lot of swords here. If you hear that in the background, it is my cat. So the Eight of Swords, as to why you are in the Knight of Swords energy, is kind of an interesting combination here. Almost like you're charging ahead, but it's all from a space of fear. You're charging ahead, but it feels like urgent, or your mind is making you believe that this storm is happening right now, and then if you don't escape it, you'll be there forever. And all of that, you have this dream or this vision. But what's lighting you up is not love really supporting that vision. It's all fear. And that fear might come from whatever in the past has made you feel trapped, imprisoned. So it's the energy of this, like times that maybe you have been a victim, times where maybe you were stuck and were trapped in those situations, but mentally they play out even still, even when spirit has been trying to encourage you that you're safe. So you think, over there is where I'll feel safe. But right now I'm afraid. Over there I'll be safe. So maybe a lot of the manifestations that you have and ambitions are, I want to live my ideal self over there. But the grass isn't greener. That's why we see all, celebrities and whatever else, all of that ideal life, that whatever you want to live, they make the money and they're still not happy. They get the fame and they're still not happy. They get the house and they're still not happy. And they're still left with the mind. So plant seeds now. So how can we, how is this energy affecting us? Well, it keeps us stuck in this Five of Pentacles energy here. Mr. Cat. It keeps us stuck in this Five of Pentacles energy, where you repeat cycles of financial stress. You repeat cycles of needing support always. And maybe you get out of it for a moment, but you have terrible habits and you end up right back where you are. Where you feel quite ill, or always needing of assistance. And it's partially that victim kind of energy that almost like manifests more of that. Stories that are haunting you, stories that are now shackles on your growth. Five of Pentacles could be about a lot of things. The body, it could be about your relationship to religion. It could be about your relationship to work, career, your relationship to family members, your relationship to feeling abandoned. So partially, it's about not wanting to be abandoned. And here's the image again. So we turn to spirit. We turn to etc., a family member. So this is offering help and support of some kind when needing help. And the Six of Cups right next to is about dreams and our ideal love and inner child, passing off the cup, passing off traditions to a younger child. This could even be about, childhood wounds, childhood memories, the things that you dreamed of. This could even be about, with all of this nostalgia and the Six of Cups, could be about being stuck in the past, especially with the 5 here. Stuck in a cycle. And it deals with your inner child. Somewhere at the root of this story, your inner child is needing to be nurtured here. So a lot of this could have stemmed from the ages, 2 to 9. A lot of this could have been during that chapter. And maybe your mind was molded in such a way that causes you to play these similar things out over and over again. But part of that might be the help for you here. Spirit is helping you play out these situations so that you get a chance to say no. So that you get a chance to do something differently than maybe your parents did before. What is the advice from Spirit? So I'll go ahead and look at these. You have the rooster, the antelope and wheat, the quail. And I'll go ahead and read some of these. Okay, let's start with the quail. A lot of this is interesting because there's a lot of blues here. It's open space. The blues feel very, very much like safety. Feels very open, very comforting. And the gooseberries is almost like you're waiting for them to grow. You're waiting for them to blossom. So you feel like, safety is almost around the corner, but it's not quite there. It says fresh gooseberries are a tempting treat, but pick them without care and you might get hurt. Gooseberry bushes are loaded with thorns meant to protect the delicate fruit within. Similarly, the quail anticipates danger excuse me, by hiding among low-growing vegetation. From its obscured perch, it keeps careful watch, monitoring for predators. There's that, and it's right underneath of the Knight of Swords too. And that storm is always around. So you mentally feel like you always have to watch for a predator. You always have to watch for something bad to happen. But what Spirit is trying to help you shift to is this Six of Cups energy or the Ace of Swords, where you always believe that something beautiful can happen. Where you shift your mind and start retraining it to believe that there's always something beautiful, always something magical, to see things like your inner child once saw things. So this says the event or outcome you've anticipated is about to occur. And part of that anticipation is the Ace of Swords, like this new thought, new sharp mind, new clarity, new opportunity, new idea, etc. You might be surprised how things might turn out. How can you balance vigilance with the Knight of Swords with an openness to risk or getting out of your comfort zone? Not to mention, you've already been through the worst. It's already happened. So anything that could cycle back through, you are already prepared. In other words, I'm getting this energy like you'll never go backwards. Anything that kind of cycles around with a similar energy, you will always get through it. You'll never repeat where you once were. Especially the Knight of Swords here. You're very ready for the fight. But now it's about allowing yourself to be at ease where you are so that you can shift your focus to things that feel good, okay? Then you have the rooster, which is about communication. You have the sunflowers here. The roosters are leaders. They reflect authority of some kind. So maybe you're going into leadership of some kind. There's this pride here. Maybe allowing yourself to speak your truth, which is the pen coming out again. So maybe you might be encouraged in this time. Hang on, there's a plane. You might be encouraged in this time to be a leader and speak up for yourself, to communicate those boundaries. Sometimes the swords are coming up as a sign like you're thinking about it too much. Speak up boundaries. And also enforce boundaries with yourself. You might need some boundaries with yourself. Anxiety and those type of things, those thought patterns might be the ruler over you, but Spirit is encouraging you to become the master of your ship, right? You are mastering yourself. This is the card of the good leader and the kind king. Roosters wake up before the rest of the farm, alerting everyone to the rising sun. They are protective of their territory and self-confident. They are good communicators, honest and capable. The sunflower is often the tallest bloom in the garden, rising high and turning its face toward the sun. While it may hover over other flowers, it bestows warmth and joy on any garden. You are well suited to positions of authority. You are well suited to being the version of yourself that you think is over there. You're well suited to embrace that energy now. You don't have to wait. It doesn't have to be so far away. I think your mind, it's almost like, I always say I have this issue with depth perception when I'm driving. So sometimes in the past, I've ended up on the wrong side of the road because I see the sidewalk, but it looks like, or I see the median, but it looks like the sidewalk. So I turn before. That's my depth perception. But now I know, my depth perception is a little bit off at night. So I know, overshoot it a little bit. Now I know, my mind thinks like this. So it's probably better than what I'm thinking. Maybe I look better than what I feel. Maybe it's actually better than what it is. Maybe it's not as stressed out or it's not as stressful as my mind is making it seem. Because you're trying to retrain your brain to be in your now body, not where you were then, right? So maybe it's like a depth perception thing. It's very similar. So you can already embrace that energy now. It's not so far away like your mind is making it seem, and you're not running out of time. Remember that clear and open communication is key to successful leadership. You might need to resist the temptation to blame other people and instead clarify your intentions, seek to understand, and if needed, ask for forgiveness. How can you improve your communication? Right? So a lot of this is maybe in that sharpness of the Knight of Swords, you might tend to lash out at others. Your stress might tend to, overwhelm your thinking. And you might see other people like, why aren't you thinking like this? Why aren't you, stressed out like I am? I need you to be stressed out like me. And instead of wanting to, from this inner child space of sharing love, you want them to come down to this energy, right? Maybe it's hard for you to see people be very free and happy sometimes because your mind has dominated the ship for so long. But this is the time to change those things around. The rooster and the sunflower. Then you have the antelope and wheat. Okay. Antelope and wheat. Nourishment. Antelopes are associated with community, which is interesting because the very first word is nourishment and it's community. And this one landed underneath the Eight of Swords. Okay. So the Eight of Swords is restriction. You're restricting yourself. It's funny because the Five of Pentacles also has this energy of abandonment, especially with the Six of Cups right next to it. Feeling left out in the cold, but it's being abandoned at some point of time. And maybe in that energy, you've isolated yourself for so long because you don't want to experience those things. Or maybe you get so stuck in those negative thought patterns that you sabotage yourself or sabotage your own joy. It's hard for you to have fun in moments of community. It's hard for you to rely on community, especially when the Knight of Swords, you've been doing it yourself for so long, but we're trying to shift that, right? We're getting a new kind of energy right now. Part of this is do something different, try something new. If before, for a long time, you go to a space, you get stuck in your head and negative thought patterns, and then you self-sabotage and you leave early, or you're there and you are uncomfortable and then you regret showing up in the first place, try something new. Speak to somebody about it. I feel very anxious right now. It's very hard for me to be communicative. I don't know why. You know, and you start sparking conversations like that, you might be surprised. Somebody else might be feeling the same way. It's like your inner child is somebody who would once go about and just, you know, share that community with other people and say, hi, this is my toy, let's go play in the playground together. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe now you're learning how to get out into the community because you're about to start telling your story in a new way. And it's important to share it with other people. So maybe some of this has to do with network. Some of this might have to do with a career path that is within something that you dreamed of. However, your mindsets don't fully align with your dream life. But right now, you're in this in-between phase. Your dream life is like coming, or your dream career is coming. But there's still a lot of old energy tied up in there that might be self-sabotaging to that dream that you want to create. So right now, if things are slow, let it be. It's probably slowed down for a reason. I feel like if things have been slow, so a lot of it is Eight of Swords. You might have been holding yourself back for so long. Especially, we get so used and so comfortable in a space that we have grown up in, or a space that even if it's discomfort, the Eight of Swords, it's very not comfortable, but you've learned how to become comfortable with that discomfort. And now you're trying to shift that. How do I just be comfortable? How do I learn to be comfortable? Something about telling your story in this time in the way that inspires you, in the way that inspires your inner child. That's going to be important for your growth. That also might have something to do with this next opportunity that is coming up for you. It's going to be about healing some old wounds. Those fears of, oh, I can't be in these spaces, I'm not welcome, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not whatever. All of those things that make you feel restrictive, and then you take it out on yourself. And then that becomes a foundation for you. Now it's time to break free from those realities that you've imposed on yourself because of past things. They don't need to be there anymore. We have traveling in large herds. They work together, detect predators, locate food, care for the young and the old. This way, the group supports the thriving of each individual. Likewise, the golden sheaves of wheat are ancient symbols of prosperity. A relatively easy grain to grow, store, convert to flour, and a staple crop around the world. Wheat is closely associated with wealth and abundance together. The antelope and wheat call us to nourish ourselves and our communities. You're feeling fulfilled, nourished, secure. Celebrate your good fortune by sharing it with others in need. Invest in your community and ensure you are supported in leaner times. On the flip side of that, you may be feeling overlooked, neglected. While you may be tempted to hide away, try to emulate the antelope, rarely without its pack. Your friends and companions can help restore you to vitality. How do you fill your cup? What is going to make you feel nourished? And it might be about speaking up and talking to someone. Five of Pentacles could also represent a physician of some kind that you might go see and talk to. So maybe it's a great time to invest in therapy. Maybe, and if it's dealing with the Five of Pentacles, it's financial lack, perhaps you find nonprofits, right? Perhaps you try reading certain books for now, or just talking to a friend, talking to a journal, whatever it might be that might help you. Then you have dog spirit, being loyal to what you love rather than the mindsets that you've adapted to, that energy of fear. Not to mention, there are some people in your life that you truly love. It is time to reconnect with those people. You have embracing the in-between, but it came out in reverse. You have time to collaborate, but it came out in reverse. So here is the message I'm getting for you. You've been in the in-between for far too long. It's time to get out of your comfort zone, get back to what you love, and what you love is out there, and it's ready for you, and it's waiting for you to embrace it. And you don't have to do things alone. If it's about telling your story, look around. There's some powerful people out there, and there's always a friend of a friend of a friend. You know what I mean? Who knows a guy. If it's time to tell your story, if it's time for you to get in that dream life or that dream career, right? If it's time for you to step outside and start rejoining the world again, there's so many swords here. I would also encourage you to embrace your community. If you feel like, I don't have the funds to do this EP, I don't have the funds to do this, I don't have the funds to start that podcast, I don't have the funds. It starts with the very first thing you got is Google. You have a phone and it's powerful. I'm recording this from my phone right now, right? Got a little small mic. It was not expensive at all, but it works well, right? So you don't need too much. And also you might have a friend who has a mic. Say, hey, I really want to start a podcast. Let me do this. Or, start recording on TikTok, start recording on YouTube, and just start telling your story. You might be surprised who listens, right? The most important thing is that you get out of your comfort zone and you surprise yourself by trying something new. Collaborate with other people. You've been resisting that collaboration for so long because that's the way that your mind has been shaped. But now you're trying to unlearn those energies and relearn what it feels like to be nourished. If you take nothing from this reading, take that. Relearn what it feels like to be nourished. Now, I did pull some love cards here because you do have the Six of Cups and the Aura of Love. So maybe, maybe in a relationship, you tend to get very attached to things like if you're in a serious relationship with somebody else, it may be financial things that are affecting you. One second. Excuse me. It may be financial things that are affecting you. It may be really, really hard for you to balance out those good feeling energies and also this intense attachment to stress and lack and adversity and negative thought patterns, etc. And from that energy, we might tend to criticize the people that we love. And that could be coming from a space of we're very critical over ourselves. That's the only way you've learned to think, right? So now, Spirit is saying that energy is only going to lead to further unhappiness. Learning how to love and accept each other as you are will help it transform. Understanding it's okay for me to feel stressed. I don't believe that just because you have the Eight of Swords here, or just because there's a lot of negative thoughts and intrusive thoughts, that is not what's going to, that's not going to manifest. It's okay that you might be struggling with those things, struggling with anxiety, struggling with all of those things, okay? The message here is not, don't struggle. The message is, allow that to be validated. Allow those traumas to be planted and to be nourished and to be healed. Allow yourself to take off the blindfold and see, the solutions to these thought patterns have been here all along. Allow yourself to reach out to somebody and just say how you feel. Allow yourself to that's what it means. Love and accept each other as you are. And part of that, you got to accept yourself as you are in your now body. It's okay to be going through these things. People who say, oh, your negative thought patterns will manifest. That is not a healthy, that is not a healthy lesson. You can release that lesson for sure. Life is hard, right? Struggle is life. Struggle sometimes is a part of life. Spirit is here to help you release that struggle and find freedom. Find good feeling thoughts. Find joy. Find community. Find nourishment. Find communication. Find the opportunities that feel good for you. It says, let go of the past. There is no point in worrying about the future. Right now, just focus on what feels good for me today, right now. And that energy, you keep following that, and that's going to lead you to the opportunities in the future. Not to mention, you got to just have some amount of trust. And Ace of Swords, there's that trust. Have to have some amount of trust that everything will fall into place. This is about finding tranquility, finding ways to rest, finding ways to share those feelings with other people, finding ways to balance those energies within, especially the ones that have been dominating this whole time. Now it's to balance out. You don't need to get rid of the shadow. That's not what shadow work is. No, shadow work is about embracing that shadow, embracing the shadow. But you understand the shadow, and that leads to the light being there. You have both. You need both. You don't have to rid yourself of that thing. That is a harmful narrative. You have to learn how to balance that thing and say, I see you, I hear you, I understand you. But actually, I think this will be supportive of me in this time, this more light-filled thing. That doesn't mean that you have to completely ignore the shadow, right? You embrace it, you understand it, you understand why it's there, how it's there, what it needs. Let it breathe, let it feel. Give it space to do that. Wow, earlier I said past energies coming back into your life so you can handle things differently. And we got someone or something, energies from the past reemerge in your life that gives you the opportunity to handle things differently than you did before. Stand firmly in your power, yet also in the light of love. So the universe is presenting you with opportunities to clear away any lingering karma from the past. This is your time where you learn to wake up, to feel that goddess energy, or that could be gender neutral here, inside you. Feel that empowerment inside you. Feel that acknowledgement inside of you. Feel that validation. This is a time for new energies, new opportunities starting to emerge. You are waking up from a very long slumber. Welcome back.